Hi everyone, and welcome back to the second installment of the Makers with Heart collaboration. This month we are all going to feature one of the different Slimline thin cuts, those are die cuts, that are featured in both the seasonal September and October catalog as well as the core catalog. So I'm going to be using this one. It is called the Slimline Shaker Window, and if you stay tuned to the end of the video, I will show you actually a Slimline card that I made with this. But I am going to use this on a scrapbooking layout today. And so I have these really fun pictures from last year of my husband and I with some of our very close friends, and we had gone golfing, and the trees at the golf course were just beautiful. And so it made me think of this pumpkin spice paper that is available right now. And so here you can see this is the sticker sheet. And then these are 3 of the pattern papers. Those are one side, and then if you flip them over, these are the patterns that you get on the other side, and you get 2 pieces of each of those in that pumpkin spice paper pack. I really wanted to use this piece right here just because I thought those trees were so gorgeous, and it really reminded me of what was happening outdoors in my photos, but it was just a little busy, and so I think I might use this piece instead, and I think I'm going to use these polka dots, and then I believe I also might try to work in this papaya striped piece as well. So I am going to be working from the Make It From Your Heart volume, I think this is volume 3, and this is pattern number 20. And so it does call for these photos over here in this orientation. I'm going to change things up just a little bit because my photos are a little bit bigger than that, and I don't think I can trim them down to 3x4. And I'm also going to turn this set of photos over here into a shaker window using that thin cut. All right guys, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I have already gone ahead and cut a bunch of that paper from the pumpkin spice paper pack and adhered some things down. And you can see I gutted out the back of that dotted paper because I just couldn't bear to waste it. And I've also cut some things out with that thin cut that I showed you at the beginning. And I'm just going to actually use that second inside thin cut piece as a border for going across my page. And then I'm going to use the one that is the stitched frame to outline where my journaling is going to go. And so I think I'm going to add some journaling strips inside of here. And, you know, originally I had mentioned I was going to turn this into a shaker window, but I decided I just kind of wanted it to frame that really pretty piece of patterned paper. And then I'm just going to set my journaling strips over the top of it with some white daisy. And so I like the way that that ends up turning out. Now you can see here that that one thin cut is obviously not 12 inches long. And so I had to just kind of very strategically place multiple cuts of it together so that when they met together, I could either cover it like I am doing here on this particular page, or on the other page, I just kind of layered them one over the top of the other where those stripes were so that you couldn't really tell. So you can't really see where they meet there in the middle. And so that ended up working out really well. And then I'm just kind of playing with where I'm going to have my photos go, and I mess around with that a little bit just to make sure that everything is even and I have, you know, from top to bottom and side to side, everything kind of working out. And I think I'm going to take that gray plaid piece and I'm going to turn it into a pocket. I'm going to stitch it onto my layout, and that way those extra photos that I have that just don't quite fit onto this design, I can just stick them into that pocket, and then they're up towards the top of my page where I don't even think I need to put a slit in my page protector. I can just easily kind of reach down into it and pull those extra photos out and see them. And so this is kind of what I'm thinking right here, how if I stitch that on, then they can just kind of slide down into that space. And I also think that's going to be where I'm going to put my title for this page. So I just keep going kind of back and forth from right side to left side and working on one versus the other. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of these papers and pictures adhered down. And there you can see where I have stitched just using some embroidery thread, and I poked holes with my piercing tool, and I just kind of stitched a little pocket around, and then I tucked those photos in. And so now I'm ready to get to that embellishment part of the scrapbook page, which is a lot of fun. And I'm definitely turning to the sticker sheet because there are so many fun things that are on here. Now I have a couple of different ideas. Do I want to use this one that says Happy Autumn Days, or there are a bunch of pennant stickers that are up at the top of the sticker sheet too, and I'm kind of thinking about maybe using those. So since I'm not sure, I'm just grabbing my anti-static pouch, and one trick I like to do is just kind of rub that across the back of my stickers, and it removes the adhesive, the stickiness. And that way you can just kind of lay the stickers down without actually sticking them to your paper, and it kind of lets you play with them a little bit to see if you like the placement of them before really committing to where they're going to go. And so that's definitely something I do quite a bit with my stickers. And then you can just put some tape runner, some adhesive on the back of them when you are ready to glue them down, and their stickers once again. So this was kind of my second thought. I thought maybe about doing those pennant banners, but I just don't think it stands out enough. Like if that's going to be the title, I just don't think that it's quite bold enough. And so I'm just kind of taking that other one and moving it around to the right-hand side of the page to see if I like it over there better. But ultimately I decide that no, I do think that I'm going to put it back over on that pocket. Okay, I am going to commit to putting it over on that pocket on the left-hand side of this layout. And since I removed the stick from before, I'm just going to flip it over and take my tape runner and add a little bit of adhesive to the back. And then that is going to be the title of my layout. And it's pretty simple, but I will ultimately add a few stickers over on that pocket as well. Now you can see I have added some white daisy strips there in that thin cut frame that I had created, and that's going to be where my journaling goes. And then I just want to create a little cluster of pumpkins at the bottom of the journaling. So I'm using that same trick of taking the stickers and rubbing the the anti-static pouch on the back of it to remove the adhesive. And then that way I can kind of play around with the placement of my pumpkins before I commit to putting them down on the page. And I really love all of the pumpkin stickers that are on the sticker sheet. There's a papaya pumpkin and a nectarine pumpkin and one in harbor color, and they're just so cute. And so I do, like I said, kind of play around with which ones are going to go where. And then I am going to return to those pennant banners because I really love them and I wanted to make sure that they found a home on this layout somewhere. So I'm going to put that plaid one down flush with the top of the page. And then this one that says gather, I am going to scooch up just a little bit because there's some space before the G and the A begin on that sticker. And then that way I can just trim off the excess, and then my pennant banners will not be the same length because I didn't want them to be quite so matchy-matchy. And I really love that. So just returning to the sticker sheet, grabbing a few extra little things to kind of put on there, some leaf stickers and things of that nature. I had also put down those two word stickers that were at the bottom of the sheet, the one that says memories and the other one says together. And I'm just kind of finishing off where I am putting some of those in my different little clusters. And so I think that's going to be it for me as far as the stickers go. And so now I am going to turn my attention to a different sort of sticker, actually, and I'm really excited about these. This is my first time playing with them. These are the wood stickers that are part of the pumpkin spice collection, and they are exactly that. They are actually wood, and they are stickers, but they are very thin and they're also very flexible. So you can pop them right out of that carrier sheet, and there is an adhesive backing on them. And so that way, if you want, you can kind of like sit them around your page before you stick them down. But when you are ready, you just peel that adhesive backing off, and then they are very, very sticky. So just know that once you put it down, you are probably not going to ever move it anywhere else. But they're so cool, and they're very thin, so they're not going to add a lot of bulk to your projects. But like I said, they're just flexible, thin wood veneer type of stickers, and they have acorns and leaves and pumpkins and all sorts of fun things like that. And so I really love these, and I thought that they were a fun touch to this page, giving a little bit of texture and also, of course, going right along with that pumpkin spice theme. And so I'm just going to kind of stick some here in that one pumpkin cluster. And then I'm just trying to pay attention to, okay, if I have put some in this cluster of, my 3 points in my triangle, making sure that I add the similar sorts of elements to the other points as well. And then that way it's all just very cohesive and it works together so nicely. But really, I'm just super excited about these wood stickers. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know that like the wood buttons and hearts and stars and other things of that nature have been some of my favorite embellishments from close to my heart. And so These are just a little bit different, but they are very fun to play with. I'm going to put this one leaf on my pumpkin like it is the leaf of the pumpkin. All right, and then the last little bit of embellishment that I'm going to do is I have just grabbed some gold sequins from my stash, and I'm just kind of sprinkling those around the page as well. Again, same thing. If I put some in one cluster, I'm trying to put them in another cluster just to kind of keep everything connected together. And so I'll just kind of sprinkle those around the page. And for the most part, with the exception of putting these sequins down, I think I'm done. I'll add my journaling off camera, but I really like the way that this turned out. I didn't want to put too terribly much down as far as embellishments went, just because, like I said, I thought that that paper was so gorgeous and kind of, it was the hero of the page, and it didn't really need a whole lot more other than a few sequins and stickers here and there. And then, like I said, a little bit of journaling that I will add later. So this was a lot of fun to create. And even though that thin cut that I used is really intended as a shaker card thin cut, obviously you can see here I have put it on my scrapbooking page. And I really love that inner thin cut that I used on the striped papaya paper. It just has a stitch detail and a very small scalloped edge that you can see a little bit better here in this close-up. And I just thought that that was so pretty, and just little tiny touches, you know, that's different than just adding a strip of paper across the back of your layout. And so just lots of different ways that you can use this. Here you can see some of those stickers a little bit better and the sequins. And so I hope you guys enjoyed and that you are inspired. But it is intended to be a shaker thin cut. So I wanted to show you a shaker card that I did make with that same thin cut and the Fishy greeting stamp set. And I just used some silver sequins and the lagoon crystal beads that are in there. And I just kind of created that. And here you can see this is you can get the foam and the acetate to turn it into a shaker card or window if you want. And so there's the acetate piece. And then there are a bunch of different foam pieces in here. This is one, excuse me, you can see I've already kind of used that outer, but here it just, yep, you can pop out that outer rectangle, and then you are left with a whole bunch of extra foam on the outside. All right, guys, the other ladies with the Makers with Heart will be showing you some other projects with their thin cuts. Thanks for watching. Happy crafting.